Welcome back to some professional Starcraft 2. With 2 players. One you've probably heard of, and one you will. But from Maddox's amazing, awesome tournament, which is pretty close to the name of it. Maddox, the Korean caster, Terran commander, general meme lord, and no, I didn't have a fourth one. Fill in the blank. Send me your LinkedIn. Anyways. In the top left, the man, the myth, the legend. It is. Jimmy, we gotta have this stuff loaded up. Come on. Oh my god. It is. Where is innovation smirk? It's innovation. Oh my god. People are already tuning out. You gotta get where is it? What is the point of having memes? Meanwhile, there's a probe, but that's not important. You know what is important? Probe hurrah. Oh my god, is he gonna kill an SCV? Almost. Ah, there it is. Smirk ovation. I'm just gonna put that instead. Okay, you know what? Ta-da. Production quality. And a very aggressive player. Described. It is Zoun, making his debut in GSL Season 2. You might be like, well, Zoun is the most exciting player I've ever seen. Why didn't I know about him earlier? Well, this match is from earlier. He just hadn't had his breakthrough moment. Where before, shield battery overcharge. Yes. But since Zoun relies mostly on aggression, shield battery overcharge, I have yet to see too many SOS or Florencio games, but it seems to be mostly a defensive tool. And, of course, it doesn't exist in... Wait, what? It's a bait. Maybe not. The chat is also... He's working all angles here. Zoun hasn't perfectly walled off that Reaper. As both players notice, I don't think Innovation really wants to commit the Reaper. This leaves him in an awkward scenario, because you're not supposed to be actually sending the Reaper in. It's supposed to be blocked. You dance back and forth. Innovation does not compute. Ooh, 2 hits go out, and that means the Adept might be able to chase down the Reaper. Will we see the sickest grenade? Martyrdom perk. Doesn't work out this time. He just kind of dies to an Adept. Did he see? He didn't see the Twilight. Hidden well back in the main. He could have just gone up and seen it, but Innovation not bold enough. So, Adept makes it to the front. Nothing to stop it for now. Gonna get a hardcore scout of just the very top of the ramp, but just having to deal with this Adept is mildly annoying. Okay, it's not the end of the world, but you don't want an Adept just sitting outside your natural when you're looking to do some sort of, at least Widow Mine drop, maybe combined with Marines. There's gonna be Blink Stalkers. Parting would be incredibly proud. I don't know if Parting's capable of that emotion. Maybe he is, but not sober, which doesn't really rule out any time of the day. But Zoun's adding on 3 more gateways. That's going to leave him? Oh, with 4. Wait, what? Wow, he waited so long for his gateways. Warp gate is already done. What is this? What is this? The Widowmine drop is already on the way out. Zoun was almost perfectly on time to intercept it, but instead finds himself in the most awkward position. Does he even have... He doesn't have energy for recall! Oh, he dropped out 2 Widow Mines. Innovation, I think this is a case of Innovation playing too well. He's assuming that Zoun is ready for this. He's really playing very careful. I think he's like, I can't be losing to Zoun, of all people. And if his name is actually pronounced like Zone, like I suspect... Into the zone makes a lot more sense. Okay, come on, Zone. Zoun. I don't know. We're gonna find out. However Tastosis pronounces it in GSL is how we're gonna say it. This is a little awkward, but meanwhile the Blink Stalkers are microing on the other side. The Widowmines got 1 kill because both Widowmines followed probes into an assimilator. The boys had to be pulled, and now Innovation is playing way too careful here. So far, Zoun has gotten away with so much. Just because Innovation's like, well, you could have these things. No, he actually had nothing for quite a while. Like, the Widowmine drop could have just got in and got the damage done. The Reaper could have got in and scouted the Twilight. But instead, now Zoun's able to put on the aggression with Innovation contained into his base, and Zoun has a third. He has a third Nexus. He barely lost anything to the Widowmine drop, and he didn't even really defend it that well. The only thing is, it is going to be a brute force gateway style, kind of a brick Protoss. You've got charge lots, you've got blink stalkers. That's about it. That's most of it, and that means a Terran army that has +1 stim, combat shield, some Widowmines and medevacs thrown in. Anything that starts with M or close enough to it. Don't be that guy like, oh, Widowmines start with W, Winter. You should know that. Okay, whatever. Nobody likes that guy. But here comes Innovation. 54 army supply. Combat shield, +1. Stim already done. Charge isn't even there yet, but a big warp and a charge launch will be helpful. I'm not sure, like, if these units get into a good spot with a couple Widowmine connections, it's going to be hard for Zoun to actually beat the army. Of course, he starts the fight. He just jumps on Innovation. What was he doing? Where was he going? Innovation just not paying any attention. And suddenly, what looked to be a kind of dicey position is turned around immediately. You can't just have the fight start with only one player looking, especially if you're the Terran. It gets out of control so quickly. Meanwhile, a whole lot of charge lots coming in from the side. Zoun seizing the opportunity. Where are Innovation's units? He sent a double dropout, but Zoun's already in his natural, killing SCVs. This is gonna get weird. There should be a recall. The third base delayed. It should eventually be canceled here. The force field's in an awkward spot. He's trying to target down the army units. There's a lot of sentries. SCV's dying. Zoun's gonna lose his natural, I think. No, not. I mean, there's a charge lot, but that drags it into Innovation's army. Meanwhile, the base itself could be targeted. There's force fields for the ramp. Innovation is playing far too careful again. He's trying to play safe, but he's playing slow. And that means, so far, Zoun is taking a much better end of this base trade. The blink out of the Widowmines. At the tail end of this, Innovation did some damage. He killed some probes, but like he's well, nice 2-serving delivery of Widowmines there for Zoun. The third base, the lone zealot, heroically destroying it. Select all army hockey looks like it showed up to the party. He's going to get the medevacs back, but Zoun has just run over Innovation. That was definitely a case of, like, Inno was trying to be so safe, so careful, that it became a liability in and of itself. Zoun was kind of trying to prepare for things, but he was taking the wins. He was, oh, I guess you're not really gonna Widowmine drop me. I mean, it'd be very dangerous if you did. I have no units. But Innovation's like, you've seen my Widowmine drop, therefore you will have plenty to defend, as TY would. No. No. He just dies. So, it's a best of 3. Who plays best of 1s? Okay, this isn't a MOBA. Thankfully. But just play a normal build. Alright. Jimmy! Jimmy! What is this? A world of darkness. So we'll see if Zoun is able to figure out how to wall this off. We're on Ephemeron. Like I said, a little dated. So, important to note, most players will be intimidated by innovation. But I'm pretty sure Zoun, like many players who like qualify for big tournaments or have big runs, ladder heroes. That's not meant as a really derogatory term. It just means that they get some nerves playing in especially offline tournament matches. And I would imagine someone like Zoun is up near the top of the ladder, but just has to spend some time working it out. Wait, I'm sorry. Jimmy, why do you have it pre-made that Innovation won? He loses sometimes, okay? Remember that match versus Cure? Yes, I know. You put a lot of money on that. Yeah, that was a mistake. Anyways. I don't think that wall's off either. Like, I'm pretty sure the Reaper gets through there. But I'm not 100%. I'm excited to find out. But we'll eventually get there. SCV gets in, looks around, sees nothing out of the ordinary, but I don't think that will continue to be the case. The probe is waiting for its moment, sneaking, conniving, scheming, and will execute some targeted harassment. Unfortunately, there's already a Marine. And the probe will just kind of wait. Yep, it'll just kind of die. Well, that's very sad. The Reaper. I need to know. I need to know! Please. Please try! I think it's a wall. We will see. Meanwhile. Factory, starport, the works here. Knowing Innovation, he'll just do the same build again. Possibly with no changes at all. Now, the build is different from Zoun. Or Into the Zone. Either way, I'm liking it. There's a lot of rhyming potential with both. We'll get there, but I'm not a rapper. Robotics Bay, Warp Prism. Tell me you're going Disruptor drop. Like, why would you get a Warp Prism first with a Robo Bay? Like, come on. Give me those danger balls. Is this... Okay. He built 3 Adepts, which looks very much like a Stargate, by the way. This looks like a Stargate build. And in fact, Innovation is hiding his Widow Mines. Just... He's hiding them in ways that would protect him if this was... Look at that. Like, how are you going to know those Widow Mines are there? Of course, Zoun isn't going to care. I think the Adepts are a mind game in and of themselves. Because if you go Robo, like 97% of the time... What is this? He's going to Colossus drop. Alright. What is this? Puck/Nina circa 2010? Ugh. Meanwhile... He's really expecting a Stargate. And if... Oh, is it? I guess it's a wall? You're just gonna let the... No, send a shade! No, but his Adepts, while they get a workout, they're really trying to go on a diet. They don't wanna exert themselves too much. Because then they might end up being called Slim Shady. Well, that's what happens if you don't kill the Reaper. He just saw the Warp Prism. We don't like your kind around here, boy. The most disproportionate possible. I feel like he did that on purpose. Like, he kept the Reaper alive just so he could have the moment of dunking on him with the Colossus. And now, of course, Zoun, with a double Stargate follow-up, he's playing fast and loose with the Whittle Mines here. He's just dancing, juking, jiving, juggling, doing all the things. The Observer spots the mines, but the Colossus drop has been wholly successful so far. Zoun has only lost one probe, and he's been looking for vengeance ever since. The gravitic drive. He can chase down the mines. Don't mind me, he says with the Colossus. He's going straight into the zone right now. Colossus drop into Phoenix, playing like a Chinese Protoss in the first half of the 2010s. Just breaking out the Wings of Liberty strats, and Innovation is scrambling. Like, if he goes Viking, little does he know, he's dodging Marauder shots. You think you could... Oh, well, okay, so this... He's going to be able to outrun the Vikings for now. There are going to be Phoenixes, which are a pretty solid counter. This is straight out of Wings of Liberty. Phoenix Colossus up against just a bio build with Vikings. And there's not even that many Vikings. It's not like okay, how many Colossi? There are 2 Colossi going on 3. Extended Thermal Lance is nearly... He's still... Ah! Okay, come on. He can't keep getting away with it. He can at least drop the Colossus. He loses the Prism. The Colossus pony trots away. I think he's going to lose it. You deserve to lose it. Okay, you bold, beautiful bastard. He's hiding, though. He's hiding the Phoenixes. He's waiting for his moment. And the first fight is going to decide the match. Or at least, like, the direction of the match. If Zoun is able to just shut down the Phoenixes and have his Colossus melt the Marines and Marauders, well, there's a good chance he walks across the map and wins the match. But he only has 2 Colossi, a couple shield batteries, no upgrades. The Phoenixes are spotted, which should be a big realization here for Innovation. Some more Vikings on the way. Vikings do outrange Phoenixes, but of course Phoenixes quite agile creatures. Where is... Okay, he picks up the Whittle Mines. They cover the retreat of Inno, who slaps down an armory, a second engineering bay. Cannot get a second starport, my friend. Innovation's like, I'm not friends with you. I'm not friends with anyone. They're a liability. I didn't ask. It was a metaphor. There it is, though. Thank you, my friend. That word again. I don't know. Meanwhile, though, the Phoenix is looking for an opportunity. We're going to have an air war. The likes of which, honestly, I haven't really seen this. There are a few players who will mix in this strategy, but not usually at this caliber. Oh, no! You can't just leave your Vikings out to dry. He lands them, creating one of the most awkward scenarios in StarCraft, which is lifting landed Vikings. Meanwhile, though, all the Marauders will angrily stim and say, this is very rude! But that's all they can really pull off because they are Marauders. A lot of Vikings going down there, and Innovation losing a lot of momentum. The scan, I guess he's looking more for the unit composition, kind of trying to get an idea if Zoun is Innovation double scan. Trying to figure out, like, is the army attacking? Zoun did the classic slightly move his army out of his third, so Innovation has no idea where it is strategy. Very advanced. The one thing is upgrades. It's going to be 2-2 against just +1. So if Innovation catches Zoun out of position, he's able to knock over a couple Colossi before the fight really starts. The Bio Army is going to kind of just run over the Gateway units. But Zoun's already preparing for that. He's got Disruptors on the way. The Templar Archives is done. Ghosts are in production. Enhanced shockwaves with that beautiful big EMP radius. the 3 adepts from earlier. The Slim Shadies, if you would. Finally getting taken out. But some cover for a whole bunch of SCVs getting lifted up and then promptly knocked right back down. The Vikings trying to fan out and chase the Phoenixes, but they slip away easily. Innovation, scouting factory. This is a Wings of Liberty game. Again. A scan spots the Raptors. In fact, there are already a couple underneath if you watch closely. Meanwhile, though, charge lots lining up for a counterattack. Zoun is maxed out. He's got 10 gateways. He's got 2 robos, 2 stargates. Meanwhile, Innovation has just the 5 racks, 2 starports. He's catching even more. Fusion core is on the way, which I have to imagine is for Liberator range, but let us have a dream. Let us whisper of potentially battle cruisers. He does have air control. I doubt battle cruisers. Meanwhile, though, that's a lot of Vikings. That's like a whole Denmark of Vikings right there. 13 with more in production. Some Liberators coming up. The Phoenix count is only 8. They're mostly a buffer now. It's really going to come down to the Disruptor hits charge lots heading into the natural. And that's going to give Zoun an opportunity. A lot of the army is coming back. He's targeting the armory. An important building here, going for +2 ship weapons, and allows more infantry attack upgrades. I can't believe Innovation really just got baited and switched like this. The entire army of Inno came back to deal with those charge lots, allowing Zoun to move into position on the 4th base. The Disruptors, a couple okay shots to start. The Vikings are ripping through the Phoenixes. This became a very awkward fight very quickly. The fadeaway shots looking okay, but Zoun had an opportunity. Innovation just kind of came over and batted him down. He lost all of the... He traded all of the Phoenixes, and by that I mean he lost them. He's killed 6 Vikings total, and I think most of those were in that early fight, so not exactly what he was looking for. Innovation still has a big army, a nice amount of workers, but he doesn't have that armory, which is going to allow Zoun to catch up a little bit in upgrades. DT Blink is on the way, because why wouldn't it be? A whole lot of Blink Stalkers are ready. I mean, it's a lot of Liberators. If you're dealing with that with just a ground army, you're going to have to take a beautiful fight, and losing a couple Stalkers and Zealots right off the bat is not what I'd consider beautiful in terms of fights. The Blink Stalkers might be able to go around. Disruptor doesn't fire quite yet. Exploratory shot. Liberator range is quite a thing to contend with. There's a lot of no-go zones here in the Venn diagram of freedom. Shoots a shot right off the edge. A ghost stands tall. 12 Liberators and 12 Vikings, but Zoun blinks to the side. Not all the Liberators are brought to bear. More point-blank shots. Disruptor, I think it was targeted down. Colossi stepping through a wave of Vikings. He's going to lose most of his splash damage, but Innovation's a little disjointed. The Stalkers still microing against the Liberators. Doing okay thus far. Adepts are warped in. He's going to need to blink to the back of the Libs. It's not going great. DTs, do they have blink? Yes, they do. He could blink on top of the Vikings or blink out. It's unclear. Disruptors, a mess right now. There's almost no ground army. A wave of Stalkers are able to beat this back. The reinforcements were cut off on the right. The Liberators are disjointed. The air army is ripe for the pickets of Zoun, who killed an entire base and 39 workers. Innovation didn't notice. I didn't notice. Only Zoun noticed. Innovation's back has been broken, almost without him noticing. So meanwhile, all this was happening at the front. It appears a handful of Dark Templars slipped into the 3rd, not only killing the entire workforce, but obliterating the command center itself, and that's how you know Innovation was paying absolutely no attention to it. So suddenly, it goes from a solid fight, closing in on a victory because he has the economy to reinforce, into an awkward scenario where his ground army was cleaned up while simultaneously his economy was shattered. And now, Zoun is ahead. He's up 1-0. He's on match point, which isn't that impressive in a best of 3, but it doesn't hurt. And Innovation is scrambling. He has to bring his main EMPUs to kill a DT. They're still Vikings, they're still Liberators, but the ground army is tiny. He has single-digit bio units, a handful of Marines, Marauders. Ghosts are using their energy to kill Dark Templar. Zoun is sitting, chilling on 5 bases without a single Archon because Blink DTs are just too much fun. Zoun is a shoo-in for this match now. The snipe on the armory set up a situation where now, after many minutes, Zoun is ahead on upgrades. He's going to finish his +3, +2. Innovation is scrambling to get his economy back on its feet. But by the time it stabilizes, Zoun is coming across again, ready for the knockout blow, this time in a much better position to either kill the 4th or just engage the army heads up. There's you can't even see the ground army. It's in the shade of the air. The mass Blink Stalker, one of the few times that's a real viable unit composition. When your opponent's army is almost entirely Vikings and Liberators, you have to siege up those Liberators. Guess what? Blocks on top of the planetary. It's gone. With it, the SCVs. What little economy? Oh, the fadeaway shot directly into the Ghost, and he's out of there. Like a thief in the night who bangs pots and pans around and hits you over the head with them. So not very subtle, but a thief in the night. Zoun bringing in the DTs to start his work, and then the rest of the army to finish the job. Fleet Beacon, a couple more Stargates as well, in case he does desperately need Tempest, but I don't think. The Liberators are trying to hold. Disruptors pounding through. Another round of Stalkers coming in. Just when it looks like Innovation might make some progress, the Stalkers blink past the liberation zones and will liberate Zoun of any more games. 2-0 over Smirkovation. A clean, okay, not clean, but a solid victory. Innovation trying to play safe and standard, and Zoun not having any of it. So, if you enjoyed that match, thank you to Maddox. Make sure to check out all of the exciting tournaments by following him. I think it's caster_Maddox, which is... And also, it'd be helpful if you speak Korean, but maybe it's the time to learn. But, if you enjoyed, like and subscribe, and are you here because Zoun crushed it in GSL, and you're like, where did this guy come from? Well, here's a taste. If he bottoms out like he has in other matches, well, what could have been? Thank you. Good luck, and have fun.